guys, welcome to the music video panel discussion we're going to have today here at Pitch Scotland. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Sunjay. I'm from Birmingham originally. I now live in London, and I work for BMG. I'm the head of YouTube there, and so we look after everything YouTube related, commercial relationship, channel management, and then I also run AAA Pass, which is an artist labels and services company. Really excited to be here today. It's my first time in Scotland. I've never been up here before, and it's been great to see how much creativity and you know, energy there is up here. So props to everyone here. But today I'm joined on the stage with these 4 incredible videographers who I'm actually going to let introduce themselves to you guys. So we'll start with Joe.
Hi, how's everyone doing? So my name's Joe, or rosaicaptures. I'm a videographer, cinematographer, and do video production as well. I'm from Edinburgh, and I've worked within the industry for a few years now. I sort of got into it based off of a documentary I made when I was in my last year of school. I stole this camera from school. I was like, I wanted to find out about like hip-hop within Scotland, so I was like...
Bro, can I just interrupt you?
Yeah, you can.
Did you get caught for stealing the camera, or was that...
Nah, I never got caught. I still have the camera. It's not a good camera, but like, you know what I mean? I did the job at the time, you know what I mean? So... but yeah, so kind of went around and met a lot of people through that, and then from there it just sort of developed. I got to know the Scottish scene a lot better. I got to know cameras and videography a lot better, and then luckily I was afforded the opportunity to do a sort of internship with Up to Standard, which I'm sure a lot of you know. It's a production company and sort of music platform within Scotland and Glasgow. And from there, kind of started working freelance, started working on a lot of different music videos, different artists, different genres, and that's where I'm at now.
Amazing, thank you, bro. Sounds incredible. Connor, how about you?
Hi, my name's Connor, or Beggsy. People tend to know me a bit better as Inverness boy originally, but stay in Fife right now and just travel, film music videos and that. Started out doing short films mostly, like in college and stuff, and then I think I shot 1 music video, and it was really, really awful. But like I kind of got the bug from then, and it's like ever since then, I guess I've just never looked back. So I've got to just travel around, go to Sweden, go to Spain, go to Budapest, and just go around shooting, which has been class.
So you're saying that really casually, bro, like it's a normal thing, like.
But yeah, it's been class, man.
Amazing, thank you, bro. Setor?
Setor,
Setor, bro. Tell me about yourself.
So my name is Setor, originally from Ghana. Known as K4U Visuals. I shoot videos with artists in Glasgow. Yeah, I also shoot music videos. I shoot wedding videos. I really got through filmmaking through my dad. He was an actor, among many things, in Ghana at the time. He used to take me and my little sister and brother to sets. And I just remember being fascinated by camera equipment and the crew and how everything worked backstage. So yeah, growing up, went to college, studied TV production at Setor Glasgow College. Went on to uni to study broadcast production as well. So yeah, through that, started picking up my camera, working with my friend Honeymoon, who at the time went to school together as well. So I was able to experiment with him. He makes music, I shoot the videos, and we kind of bounce the ideas off each other. So yeah, been out here working with artists in Glasgow, like along with these guys as well. So yeah.
Amazing, thank you, bro. And last but not least, Yona. Tell me about yourself.
Hiya, I'm Yona. I run YonaMacMedia. It's a platform on YouTube. Just kind of get all different music videos and stuff. I started probably like 7 years ago doing this. Being a female in the scene's definitely different, but yeah, it's just one of those things. But started, like I say, 6, 7 years ago, and yeah, just kind of got the bug for it and kept going after that.
Amazing, great. So strong panel here. I want to get right into it, and obviously we're all videographers here. You've all created amazing content in the past. We're in a very interesting time with regards to the different type of platforms that are out there, people's consumer behavior, their patterns, their attention spans. All of these different elements are affecting how people are taking in this content that you guys are making. So the fundamental question I feel right now in this time is, how important is a music video nowadays? I'll start with you, Joe.
Sure. So, for me, I guess what you're referring to is like the lack of importance for a music video could come because you think, right, these days I think more people will consume short form content you know, that'd be TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, all this type of thing. What I think music videos do is you're able to communicate who you are as an artist to your audience in the most easy way. And I also think that when you create a music video, you're not just creating a music video these days, you're creating, you know, dozens of pieces of content that you can use. But I do think it is interesting because, like, recently I've been speaking to a lot of artists and they're opting not to do music videos. So for instance, one artist I worked with recently, he would say, okay, cool, I'll pay you the same fee as a music video, but rather than doing a music video, what I want you to do is 5 almost mini music videos. So we do 5 one scenes, we go to different locations, we'll shoot the song, stuff like that. It will kind of be 5 really simplistic music videos kind of in a vertical Instagram or TikTok format. So I think there is definitely like a move away to some extent from music videos, but I still think they're always going to be important. I don't think there's ever going to be a time where they'll surpassed as a kind of as the best way to represent yourself as an artist, and I always think that will be the case.
And just on that point then, has that also affected how you've had to adapt to what clients are asking for?
Totally, yeah. I think, again, it's expensive to do a music video. It's very time consuming. It's a lot of mental, physical energy. And I think, yeah, people do think that you can see the immediate results when it comes to social media content more, I think, because you can easily spend, you know, and I've seen this happen, I've worked on music videos like this, and I think that happens to a lot of artists. You know, you can spend days and days and days and, you know, hundreds or thousands of pounds on a music video to get, you know, an underwhelming amount of views, an underwhelming amount of reception, whereas you can post a reel and, you know, you go to TikTok and you get lucky and you get a million views on that. However, I don't think they are mutually exclusive, though. I think the content and the music videos kind of actually complement each other quite well. So, yeah.
No, totally. That's a really interesting point. I think until you hit a certain level and you have that audience, your music video isn't necessarily a monetizable asset. It's not something you can claim and get money from YouTube from. It's not necessarily something brands would want to invest in and sponsor until you hit that certain audience level. Then I'd like to ask Yona then, just off of that point, you know, you've built a platform on YouTube. How have you worked with artists in tackling that whole, you're putting 10,000 hours into this piece of content for 200 views? Like, how do you navigate that?
It's hard, like, you're putting all this time and effort to, like, create something visually stunning. Like, you're really happy with it, the client's really happy with it, to only get a few hundred views. But like I said, with TikTok and stuff, TikTok's really good for, people will look at that and if they want to watch it, then they'll click to YouTube, hopefully. Yeah. But then you get the whole monetization on YouTube as well, which is pennies.
Yeah, no, absolutely, it's pennies. And, you know, I think it is one of the, we'll talk about platforms a little bit later on, but, you know, YouTube is one of the platforms you can have an impact on the revenue generated, maybe not so much for TikTok and Instagram. Joe, what would your take be? Sorry, not Joe. Connor, what would your take be on it with regards to the sort of time that you put into these music videos and the output?
I think especially obviously like a lot of it's Scottish based and stuff. In terms of like the audience that's available there, there's only so much I think you can expect, like until that gap is bridged between like our scene and then the scene down south. So it's like it's bridging that gap, and I think little by little there are people that are starting to pop up that are getting these views and stuff like that. So I think it tends to trickle down at some point, but it's just I think it's more of a community-driven thing. I think everyone needs to be a bit more of a community around it.
Definitely, man. And I think the other thing to that then would be, Setor, I'd like to get your thoughts on, would you say that then the reasoning or the motive behind music videos has shifted in the last few years? Are people doing it for different reasons now?
I feel like people are doing music videos just to show more of their personality as well as an artist, because it's really important for you to tell a story as an artist, and my job is for me to, how do I explain this? My job is for me to allow you to show yourself. So I feel like the artists I work with, they want to show their personality through their music videos, and it's important just so that their audience can engage with them as well. And I feel like that is very important. That's one reason why artists come to me to shoot videos, because they want to appeal to the audience, they want to show a personality, they want to push to a wider audience, like I said as well. Yeah, I think music videos is very important because we spoke about what you spend all these time on videos, it gets 200 views, but when you make that one song that blows, people are gonna come back and look at your catalog and like, wow, you've been consistently putting in this work for a long time. So yeah, the views are not there at the moment, but I feel like eventually people are gonna catch on and see that video.
100%, bro. I'd like to shift it on a little bit now to the creativity. So when you introduced yourself, Setor, you mentioned that you do wedding videos as well. We at BMG, we're working with Rita Ora at the minute, and for her last music video, she actually wanted to use her wedding video. So her wedding video was actually the official music video for the track You and I. Have any of your clients ever asked you to do that?
None of my clients are artists, unfortunately, but yeah, not yet, I would say.
But what have you seen? What sort of creative developments have you seen over the last couple of years, and what you've been working on with regards to how content is starting to evolve?
In terms of weddings?
In terms of creativity in general, not weddings, yeah.
So can you repeat the question?
What sort of creative evolvement have you seen in the content that you're creating?
My style has changed throughout my creativity. Like I used to do a lot of heavily edited videos, and as I'm growing as a creative, I'm starting to appreciate simplistic shots. No, don't do too much of the edits. I feel like I understand video a lot more than I did before. I used to do, like I said, a lot of heavily edited. Sorry, I'm starting here, man, because this is new to me. I'm sorry, guys. I used to do a lot of heavily edited videos, and over time, I've been able to just take my time, focus more on telling the story rather than like just distracting people through edits. And like I feel like as a creative, I'm able to tell a story much better than I did at the start.
I hear that. On the contrary, however, what we've seen in recent years, especially in rap and hip-hop music videos in general, are hugely creative shots, edits, transitions.
Oh, for sure. Crazy,
right? Some things you just can't actually perceive how it's being done. Joe, where do you stand on that? What are your sort of experiences on creativity within how you're shooting videos nowadays?
Again, I think it is something to talk to the client about and say, I think the client will always come in with a view, a vision of what they want. However, I feel like the vision is often incomplete, and I'm sure you guys can agree with that as well. The artists will come and be like, yeah, I want this, I want that, I want that. And then you're kind of like, okay, cool, but how are we actually going to get there? What are the resources available? And what is the best thing we can do with said resources, you know? Yeah, in terms of the creativity side, I think I like to do a fast edit kind of cut like that. I like to do more narrative, slower stuff. Again, it just depends what makes sense for the artist and what's going to best represent them, because at the end of the day, we're not making our own short film here. We're doing a job for someone else, and at the end of the day, it's got to represent them. It's not trying to represent us. But for us, I think it's about putting our own little spice there.
I was going to say that there must be a little fine balance there, though, because totally. You know they've come to you for a reason. You've got a catalogue of work, and there's certain video directors that are known for certain things, the same way producers are, the same way artists are, right? So how do you find that balance, Setor? How would you go about that?
How do I find the balance between
what they want and adding your
firstly, they come to me for a reason. Like we all shoot videos, we all have a different style. So they come to me for my style. Like I said, I used to do a lot of edits in my videos. I still kind of do it, but I'm sort of leaning more towards the storytelling side of things. But yeah, I used to have a lot of people come to me just because I do like crazy edits through my videos, and like that hasn't stopped. But I'm just toned down on that. And yeah, I speak to the artists, just try and understand what the story you're trying to tell is, because that's important to me. What story are you trying to tell? Because I'm actually getting bored of just making cool videos. I want to tell a story. I want to look back and like, okay, cool, we actually did this. And yeah, so what story are you trying to tell? And then how my job is to do it in a cool way. And yeah, they come to me for that reason.
Connor, have you seen any new trends recently within music video scene that you've noticed?
I think it borrows very much from like the American industry, especially the rap. Like there's the very heavy effects-driven videos where you're doing a lot of rotoscoping, a lot of like the liquids, explosion, distortion type looks and stuff. So I think that's like a more sort of recent one. But like I think fads like that, they die quite quickly. Like if you remember years back, you would always get the X's on the eyes, like the hand drawn stuff. So it's like we would always have stuff like that, and I think it always comes full circle because then it reverts back to being more clean. And it's like if you look at like a lot of big videos, a lot of the times is it's like the more budget that's in it, the more simple it looks because it's the team that's working around it. They're proper professionals. It's a full team. Everyone's like the best they can be at whatever it is what they're doing, whether it be like editing or grading or just cinematography, directing. So yeah, I think it just changes, like just comes in circles sometimes.
For sure. And how about you? You must have worked with a lot of different artists with different styles. What have you seen?
Yeah, I think it all depends as well. If you're shooting a drill video, you want it to be quite pacey. So obviously you're going to cut a lot more. But if you're doing a hip hop or I don't know, like an indie band or something, you're going to be wanting to do it like a lot more like cinematic, kinda. So yeah, and a lot of the effects that I use personally, you just kind of mimic what London does. So a lot of artists, they'll be like, oh yeah, I want this kind of video. Right, okay, no problem. That's a 10 grand video. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, we try our best to replicate it and yeah, see what comes out.
Well, that's a really good segue into the next section, which is we're gonna talk. Sorry, bro.
Another thing as well, someone will send you a video and like, yeah, I want this video, and then you look at the crew list, and then you look at the crew list, like, yo, have you seen this crew? And it's just me and probably like one other person, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's just trying to get people to understand that as well.
That's exactly what I was going to say, bro. So the next sort of little segment we're going to go into is budgets and expectations. There's probably a bunch of independent artists in this room that might not necessarily have the budget to match their vision. How do you tackle that? Start with Connor.
I think it's a tricky one. I think it's like roping it back a bit because I think we're at a point now where everything's so accessible in terms of equipment and in terms of software and that. Like you can do quite a lot of amazing things, but there comes a point where it's not beneficial. Like obviously, if I've got a bunch of videos I need to do, I can't spend weeks of my life for one video, for pennies of what you're gonna make from it. So it's just about like sort of working with the artists and finding out what's doable for them and what's doable for you, and then sort of striking a balance. Like what story do they want to tell? What videos do they like? Should we borrow from this video or this video, and then kind of like sort of merge styles and create something that's worth it.
Joe, you're nodding quite a lot. Have you had similar experiences?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's a difficult one because it's like I'm not going to expect someone who's working a 9 to 5 and trying to make music to spend this kind of crazy money on a video. However, as well, you do get what you pay for as well. To put it bluntly, and it's like what you were saying with the crew list. It's like it is difficult being solo or being with like a team. Like I'm a part of a directing duo with a guy called Lucas who's based in Spain. So even like with the two of us, maybe we get like 2 extra crew. It's still not to the same levels as a video with 10,000, 20,000 pounds put into it. So I think people just have to keep that in mind and just like sort of allow for the process to be a bit elongated. Because for instance, like one shot that we want to get, say it's a really cool shot, whatever it is, it's going to take a couple of hours with a full crew. It's going to take, that whole shot is going to be the whole day. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, for me, when it comes to someone who says, listen, I do have a low budget, I'm not going to be able to pay you your usual rate. Like for me, it's just deciding, I guess, how open are they to collaborating ideas-wise, and also how much do I like the music, how much do I like the artist, and sort of like the energy. What I was going to ask actually, Connor, I was going to ask you a question.
Taking my job, bro.
Sorry, I know. I just wanted to ask you this because I know that like a couple of years ago you did like a crazy amount of music videos in 1 year. Like you did like 100 music videos in 1 year. So I guess I just wanted to ask, what was your sort of reasoning behind that, and like how do you see that looking back now?
God, I mean, now, looking back now, never again. Like, I'll be honest. It was peak COVID, I think, when everything kind of just went to hell. And I noticed that like there were like so many people still wanting to get content out there, still wanting to do videos, and it's like I think I was like I'd worked at Amazon for a few years and I just got so tired of it. So I went, right, I'm just gonna go like full into this. So I started doing videos for £60. I just travelled everywhere in Scotland, just about 150 videos worth of just like £60 here and there, and then. Yeah,
that's more features than 2 Chainz in that year.
And then it was just little by little, like I think I just kind of got the bug for it. But I think the dangerous thing is burnout. Like, see, when you're working at that level all the time, you hit like a stage of burnout that's like feels almost impossible to come back from. So it's like finding that balance, and obviously I've learned a lot, like not to do that again, basically, like one of those ones.
Is there value in quantity over quality sometimes?
Not necessarily, I don't think. I think when it comes to TikTok content and stuff, I think there can be value in quantity, because you're just trying to you're just gaming the algorithm and you're hoping something pops and then you're just going to copy it over and over again. But in terms of I think quality is always going to beat quantity, in the long run.
Yona, obviously you must have worked with a huge amount of artists on your platform. We're all very aware now that in our pockets we have this device and it can do everything, including shoot in 4K. What are your thoughts on that? Would you encourage more artists to do DIY sort of video shoots with their phones, or is it respect to the artistry of a music video?
Yes and no. For myself and for my platform, if you can't afford a full music video, we've got a thing called the drop. So the drop is just, it's a one location thing, 3 shoots, and that's it. But it helps get the name out there for the artist as well. So it's something else. There are ways you don't need to do a full music video and stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of creators and stuff coming up that are using CapCut. I've seen a lot of, I don't know about you guys, but yeah, there's a lot of CapCut templates and lyric videos and stuff. So yeah, if you can use it, then why not? It's more content for you as an artist.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And see, to that point as well, with regards to the sort of DIY, do-it-yourself thing that a lot of creators and artists are trying to adapt. How would you, I guess, where would you draw the line with that? So, because essentially if they become so good at something like that and they don't necessarily feel like they need to level up, you can maybe get stuck in that mentality of just doing everything, not on the cheap, but doing everything as lean as possible. Where's the line between that and then creating interesting art?
Oh, my job is to show them that there's nothing wrong in doing that, by the way. If you can do that, that's good for you. Keep that up, because that's going to take you a long way. But leveling it up is you will see the difference coming to a videographer to actually do the videos for you, give you the content for you to post and share. But yeah, if you can do that yourself, yeah, that's fine. That's cool. But yeah, you will need to. You don't need to draw a line, but a line needs to be drawn somewhere to say yeah, I need to actually hire professionals to do it. Maybe they're doing that just for money reasons, for budget, because they don't have the funds to actually recruit or hire a videographer to do that, and that is fine. I'll say that maybe that's the only reason that you should probably do that, I guess. But if you've got the funds, yeah, definitely let the professionals handle do the work for you. You can just focus on being an artist, and you've got a crew to actually do the work for you.
Amazing, man. CapCut was mentioned a second ago, and so we're going to talk about platforms now. So traditionally, obviously, initial music videos when they came in, it was the whole massive production. It was getting placed on MTV. It was the first £1 million music video, and then just what grew from there and there and there. Long gone are those days now. We're aware that music videos are more than just sort of marketing tool. That again, they could be monetizable assets. It could be places where you get sponsorship. Could be more storytelling, another format for you to tell your story. A lot of music videos nowadays are longer than the actual tracks themselves, right? Because there's additional content, there's additional storytelling. What platforms should artists now be focusing on? So obviously, traditionally, a music video would be premiered on a YouTube channel or Vivo and whatnot. Joe, you mentioned earlier that one of the projects you worked on, they got you to cut 5 miniature music videos as opposed to a long form one. It's crazy that we think 3 minutes is long form now, by the way, as well. Right? Yeah. But what does that tell you about where we should be focusing as artists and what platforms we should be focusing on for this visual content?
Well, first of all, I want to say there's within Scotland and hip hop, and especially, there's a massive importance to YonaMacMedia, 1250 TV up to standards. I don't think that should be mutually exclusive to also creating your own platform. I think artists should, I would encourage artists to have their own YouTube, have their own TikTok, Instagram, obviously stuff like that, and being able to kind of use their own channel to promote. However, I think that doesn't need to be like, oh, I'm going to just use my own channel. I won't post it on this other channel that's going to get me tons of exposure. I don't think it's an either or. Again, I think TikTok's really important. I think TikTok is now like one of the main ways that artists blow. I think it kind of has to some extent, gives a sort of democratization aspect to it because anyone can sort of pop off quickly. But yeah, again, I think make your own channel, make your own everything, and you also use external factors to get help as well. I think both are great.
Just on that point, Yona, so what, that is a debate that I've come across as well with a lot of the artists we've worked with. We've had artists say, I want to put my video out on GRM or LinkUp, for instance, because it's going to get more views instantly. But obviously the shortcoming of that is you're neglecting your own channel. Is there ways where you can cater to both? Is there scenarios where you think it's better to do this instead of that? One point that I found quite interesting is remembering that if you are to choose to upload onto a bigger third-party channel, it's great and you'll get more views, but you're actually competing with all their other uploads, which is sometimes multiple a day, right? So what's your viewpoint on that?
Personally, if I was an artist, I would do both. So I'd maybe start off, if I was literally just starting out, I would probably go to a bigger channel and then upload a video there. Then kind of, like, if you're in Scotland especially, I would say go to every single platform you can because there's so many different subscribers. So you're going to gain more and more exposure. But I would also go to like Facebook. You've got Facebook Reels, you've got like Instagram Reels, TikTok, you've got YouTube Shorts. You've got so many different platforms. You just need to be constantly posting. But on Facebook and Instagram as well, you can schedule posts. So that's what I do. I'm not even online a lot of the time. I'm just scheduling posts, which is really good, yeah.
Is there merit in ever uploading a full music video to a social media platform, not just YouTube?
I can't really see any, like, why wouldn't you? Like, if you're an up-and-coming artist, post as much as you can, because it takes a lot for people to click. Like, if you're on YouTube or if you're on Facebook or Instagram, it takes a lot of time for people. I don't know, people are lazy. They just won't click on a link to go to YouTube for some reason. So yeah, if you can post it on like Instagram or Facebook, then why not?
Connor, in your experience in working with all the different artists you have done, have you seen that strategy being a potential issue because you're basically splitting views and you're neglecting that audience focus?
I think it could potentially be. I've never really seen it as too much of an issue, but then again, like I think Facebook and that, it's quite rare that you see people doing anything on even Facebook or that. Or yeah, I think like Instagram as well. Like it tends to always just be like a push to a link. But I guess like accompanying a video with maybe shorter reels and things would probably be a good way to do it. But yeah, I tend to like just stay a little bit outside of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, Joe, did you have something?
I was just going to say, in terms of just going off of what Connor was saying, it's like, again, that music video is 10 reels. You know what I mean? You can cut that up as much as you like. I like this section, I like this section, I like this section. And that's what you should do with it. And then that's how you get people across to the YouTube. I think the advantage of YouTube is obviously once you start getting a certain amount of views, it is monetized as well. And I think it's like basically the only social media platform which you can make actual money from once you get decent views. So that's why I'd encourage YouTube personally. But
I think this is a very interesting point, and it's correct. And I think, the other interesting point about YouTube is with the introduction of YouTube Shorts now, it's technically the only platform that allows you to discover, explore, and then subscribe to to an artist all on one platform. So you have Shorts, and that's sort of where you discover the artist. You then click onto their official music video, you watch that, it's at the top of the sounds page, and then you discover their channel and all their other content that's on there. When it comes to like TikTok, there's a lot of discoverability happening there, but you can't stream the music on TikTok. Not yet anyway, right? They're gonna introduce TikTok music and that's coming and they're getting licensing deals and all this stuff, but I feel like that's quite an interesting space and why YouTube is quite important. Setor, have you seen that with the work you've done, specifically with regards to YouTube?
In regards to artists posting their...
Just YouTube being a more of a sort of interesting platform in the sense of being able to discover and consume all in one place.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree. I think I wouldn't. Sorry, just finishing off what we were speaking about previously. I wouldn't post a video on Facebook, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't advise an artist to post a video on Facebook. But I guess if that works for your artist, then yeah. So.
She needs a sec.
But yeah, I'll say, yeah, definitely YouTube, Instagram, Reels, they are very powerful tools, like as an artist, to share your videos to a wider audience. So yeah, I definitely do encourage artists to post on Reels, Instagram Reels, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts as well. That's becoming a new thing as well. Facebook Reels, I don't really, to be honest, I'm not really on Facebook. Maybe I'm biased. I'm not really on Facebook like that. Like I don't go on Facebook to look at artists. It's mostly like Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. I don't consider Facebook as somewhere that I would look at artists, to be honest. But maybe that's just me.
I think Yona has something to say about that.
Yeah, I can speak now. I can speak. There's a lot of hip-hop pages or groups, especially on Facebook. It's got quite a big following. I don't know if anybody here is on them. But yeah, there is a few of them. A lot of, I wouldn't say older, because yeah, that's just disrespectful. But a lot of older guys that I work with, all their families are on Facebook, like their grannies and granddads, so they'll interact with it more, which obviously pushes it to different people. Rather than Instagram, where like your mum or your granny or something, they might not be on it. So that's the only kind of reason that I said Facebook. Yeah.
I think there is a point to be made there as well. Like there are groups like where there's like big artist collectives and stuff. Where especially there's even plenty of Scottish ones, I'm pretty sure as well, where folk will just post their links and stuff. So it's a good way to get views from people that are in the same scene, but still maybe haven't heard of you quite yet.
Yeah, and I guess that speaks to the importance of knowing where your audience is, right? And knowing each platform, what they're bringing to your artistry and your space. So great, that was really interesting. Thank you so much, guys. Before we wrap up, I wanted to ask you each to leave some parting words of advice to all the budding artists in this room. So we'll start with Joe.
Advice? About what in general?
I don't know, bro. It's up to you, man.
What about?
I've asked enough questions now, so
just follow your heart, you know.
What would you say to? Yeah, if you had to give one piece of advice, whether it's about music videos, release strategy, motivation, what would it be?
I'd say just on the days that you feel lazy, just do it anyway. That'd be my advice.
Just do it anyway, man. That was solid. Connor.
I mean, there is a bit of truth in that. I think because I've had a few boys message over that they want to get into videography or anything like that. I think it's like anything. Like if you do it enough, you're not gonna not be good at it. Like it's about, you know, they say the famous 10,000 hours, but these days it's probably closer to like 20,000 hours. So it's just putting the time in, and eventually, like little by little, you'll get there.
Setor.
Yeah, just in the back of what they're saying, just don't stop, man. It might seem like you're not going very far, not making any moves, but just keep putting in the work, man, and just don't stop. It's gonna pay off in the end.
Finally.
Yeah, just if you can't be bothered on one day, just like on a Sunday night, schedule posts. It's the easiest way to do it. You can schedule posts throughout the week, and it'll even tell you when your followers are most active, so when they're most online and stuff. And just be true to yourself, and Scotland will get there at some point. We will.
Amazing, guys. Thank you so much. Before we wrap, did we have any... do we want to open the floor for questions? Was there any questions specifically about music videos or releases? Yeah. Do we have a mic or? No, we don't have a mic. Sorry, sir. You're gonna have to shout.
Have any of you shot in 360 or 180? Is that something that you see going anywhere?
Yeah, like do you mean like 360 cameras and stuff? Yeah, I've seen that, especially with rap videos and stuff. That's really came about recently. I've not used it personally, but it's one of those things that's kind of like on the list to try out because they do seem like really interesting pieces to get.
I've used it and I think they're really sick. Like they're actually really cool tools. Like you can be very creative with them and you can put it on, for example, in cars, you can put it any point of a car, for example, motorbikes. You can do so many things with it. I think they're really cool. They're really cool, but they can tend to be overused sometimes. So I'll be honest. Sometimes they are overused, but it's a nice breakthrough to a normal normally shot video. It's a nice cutaway, essentially. But they're cool.
Amazing. Any more? No? If not, I think we're all good to wrap. Thank you for your time, guys. Appreciate you joining me.